I'm sorry, kiddo, I really am. You have a good soul. And I hate giving good people bad news.
I'm Tony, he's Mike, and today we're doing our first creature feature of the summer. We're doing 1976's Food of the Gods.
The Food of the Gods. The terrifying tale of man fighting for his life against an ecology gone berserk. This is the last chance for an unsuspecting world against harmless animals and insects made huge and vicious by the food of the gods. Marjoe Gortner. Pamela Franklin. Ralph Meeker. Ida Lupino. H.G. Wells' The Food of the Gods, for a taste of hell.
This is an H.G. Wells book?
Yes. Actually, this is a portion of an H.G. Wells book.
Well, I got that. Was just quick and dirty.
Quick and dirty. I was gonna say, like, legitimately, there is this fluid that they feed to animals and they get big. And while this just only explores like the farm aspect of it and all that, this book doesn't bear too close a resemblance to it. It's an adaptation from. But the funny thing about this is that the guy that directed this film, he apparently bought the rights for this, and he was really obsessed with like giant people and creatures and all that. So he wound up doing like 3 different adaptations based on Food of the Gods because he had the rights, and why not? And then he also did like the Colossal Man and a bunch of others. So
I saw that too, like Empire of the Ants and a shit ton of creature features.
Yes. So I mean, if you wanted giant creatures in your movie, this was your man. And just to sum this up real quick, plot-wise. There's a football player and his buddy, and they have a couple days before the big game, so they decide that they're going to go off to the country to relax so that they can really perform their best because the coach told them to.
My name is Morgan. I play football. We've worked our butts off trying to get it together for the big Sunday game, so the coach told us to knock it off and relax for a few days.
Now, while they're out there and they're chasing deer down on horseback...
With dogs. It's persistent hunting. You wear out your prey.
No idea. Anyway,
that's how we're here as a species.
So that being said, they run into a swarm of giant hornets or bees. You can't really tell because they just blacked out on the screen.
Yeah, that was terrible looking. I couldn't tell what the fuck they were either, but apparently they're wasps.
But they wind up killing, their buddy, and so they go back to town, and then there's some farmer and this farmer and his wife, and there's this white fluid that started bubbling up, and they started feeding it to the chickens because why the fuck not? And the chickens just grew up to be supersized. They were laying here's pillow-sized eggs.
Here's the funny thing. They tried to feed it to them on its own. They had to mix it with feed.
Yes.
Is this what you've been feeding those chickens?
No. This is the way it comes to us from the law. The chickens won't touch none of it unless we mix it with a meal.
Yeah, so they're really persistent. They really want to give the food of the gods to these chickens.
I just want to know, they find this white goop in their backyard bubbling out of the ground. And then they're like, well, what are we going to do with this, Martha? I don't know, feed it to the chickens. We ain't going to eat them.
I mean, if it comes bubbling out of the ground, work for the fucking Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah.
They'll get rich off this somehow or another.
He was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude. Oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea.
So there's a chemist and his assistant, and they're going to the farmer's house because the farmer's husband, or the farmer lady's husband, the farmer, he's got this
Skinner.
Oh yeah, he's got this invention and he wants to show the world and he's gonna solve world hunger and blah blah blah. Now, naturally, he gets eaten by giant rats on his way back home, and no one knows that but the audience because we get to see it firsthand.
Who's there?
But he shows up, and there's a wife, and she's like, my husband's going to be home any day now. I just know it.
We're looking for Mr. Skinner.
What do you want him for?
Well, we were supposed to meet him out here today.
Mr. Skinner didn't come home last night.
But he's obsessed with getting this white goop out of their backyard.
Find every container you can. Pails, bottles, jugs, anything that'll hold it. We'll load the car and then get out of here.
So that he can just make $1 million. He can wipe his ass with hundreds and not even miss it.
Buddy, but you're stuffing money.
You know what this food is worth? Enough millions you can use $100 bills for toilet paper.
And when they start getting attacked by giant chickens and giant wasps and giant rodents, that's when he decides he's got to save the lady at the farm, and his assistant figures out it's because you need her alive to sign those papers, otherwise you don't have nothing.
Yeah, that's right, Jack. You be sure and take Mrs. Skinner with you. You'll need his signature for the rights, won't you?
And then the football player and his buddy show up, and then there's an RV with a pregnant chick and her husband, because, when you're 8 months pregnant, camping sounds like a swell time.
Rita, come to the door.
Tom, what is it? Oh, my God.
And then there's lots of giant rats and shenanigans ensue.
Yes. Yes, there are shenanigans. This movie is ridiculous. I mean, first, you got the quarterback guy, and and he sees his buddy. We didn't see his buddy die, but he sees the aftermath, and this guy's a swollen freaking mess. And for life, I don't understand why he had to go back with his other buddy to the island.
Because they got to eliminate the wasp nest, because otherwise somebody else could get hurt, because they discovered that if I'm not mistaken, they discovered that there was just a massive amount of wasp venom, and they're like, oh, well, we got to do something about it. So that's why they went back.
Body. He estimates that Davis was stung by no less than 250 wasps.
Come on, let's go.
Where to? Farm. Oh, come on. What do you want to go out there for?
The ride.
All right. But anyways, fucking... when he stumbles upon the barn with a giant fucking rooster and shit like that. He's so calm and chill, when he goes into the farmer, Mrs. Skinner's fucking place. And I forgot the exact lines,
I had no business in there.
Look, my name is Morgan. I need a telephone. There's been a bad accident in the woods out there. My friend is dead.
How's that the first words out of your mouth is why the fuck are there giant fucking chickens in your fucking... He obviously doesn't care about that.
Where the hell did you get those goddamn chickens? Hey, do you know those bastards almost killed me, huh?
Well, once you've seen giant wasps, really, just giant chickens just means...
Well, no, that's the thing. He hasn't seen the giant wasp yet, I don't think. I don't know. I don't remember. But I hate every character in this movie. I really do. I despise every character in this movie because the quarterback guy does some very questionable fucking things.
Yeah.
All right, just tell me one thing, okay? What the hell are we going out there for? In this open Jeep, we don't stand a chance. Where the hell are you going? Come on, Morgan, write this down. Come on, let's get the hell out of
here. The assistant Lorna, she's just fucking there.
If I told you how I felt right now, you'd think I was crazy.
Tell me.
I want you to make love to me.
The business tycoon plays your typical evil business tycoon.
Yes.
Yours hunger will be a thing of the past.
That's what you're doing it for, is it, Jack? For the benefit of all the hungry people throughout the world.
Especially the children.
Oh, God.
Yes.
The
farmer's wife, Mrs. Skinner.
Oh my dear Lord,
God.
she drove me up a fucking wall.
Yeah.
Every 2 seconds. Every word out of her mouth was God.
Oh, God!
Well, not only that, but like she's constantly saying, like, the Lord blessed us with this here food of the gods, and we're gonna do whatever we feel is fit with it. Well, what's fit is to, like, put a cork in it and tell no one. You don't, like, try to sell this shit to everybody.
Lord, give it to us because we're deserving people. And we pray regularly, we do. And the Lord's gonna see to it that we don't need money no more. Never.
And so I don't understand why Mr. Football Genius didn't, like, just agree with the evil business guy who was the only smart person there. Is like, hey, let's get in the car and just get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
This car might be the only way out of here for all of us.
That's why I'm taking it. If anybody wants to come along, they can come. Now give me the keys.
From a hero's, from a hero's point of view, he is like. He's supposed to be written as, like, the clever one, the smart guy, the guy that's, like, playing 3 moves ahead on the board. And, like, really, he just comes off as stupid. Like, there's a whole bit where they take the motor generator and they hook it up to the metal fence. Yeah. And it's working as a barrier. He's basically shocking any of the giant rats that are trying to get over the fence. And I'm thinking, okay, that's great. Why would you leave it unattended? And then the mice come and they like, knock the generator out by, like, chewing down a tree and it falls over. Now that's some massive skill there to actually chop down a tree on this side of a fence and have it fall over and not only hit the generator, but then knock it out completely. So, kudos to those mice. And then, you have the whole bit where they have the shotguns and they're in the cabin and they're shooting the mice or the rats. And like they're plugging away, and what does he decide to do? He's gonna get a giant bowl and he's gonna start cutting the shotgun shells apart and dumping the gunpowder in it. And then the one guy comes over and knocks the bowl onto the floor.
Maybe we shouldn't have listened to you. Maybe Bensington was right.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Well, nothing! Damn it! We could have been the hell away from here if it wasn't for you.
And he just continues going about this, and it's like, wait, that guy made a really good point. If you run out of shotgun shells, you're as good as dead. What the hell are you doing? You maybe should have taken a second and instead of being Mr. Cool and quiet, maybe said, making some pipe bombs so that we can blow up some fucking giant rats.
Well, they didn't blow up rats. They blew up the fucking dam. And then it floods, floods everything, which they didn't put much thought into that either. I mean, because if you blow up a dam, you could just flood away your whole fucking house.
Yes.
I mean, floods are fucking dangerous.
Yes.
People die from that
yes.
shit.
I was going to say, we say this from Missouri where, 2 years in the 90s, like a vast swath of this area was underwater, and it's not pretty. No. That being said, the pipe bombs that blow up the dam, it's like they magically came up with how do we flood an island? You're going to tell me that whole island is only above water because of that fucking 10-foot strip of land right there?
Oh my God, I didn't even think about it until you mentioned that. Holy shit, that is so fucking stupid.
That means that they legitimately had to have built that while it was underwater to keep the rest of the lake or the ocean or whatever it was out, and then pump all the water out, then build a farmhouse there, then grow some fucking giant chickens. So.
Oh God.
This is a mixed bag special effects wise. The wasps look terrible. It's almost impossible to tell what the fuck they are.
Yeah.
But scenes with the giant rats, there's a lot of them that actually work. They look really convincing.
Yeah, even the big puppet heads.
Yes,
look pretty good.
The chicken heads look good. Yeah. The giant mice, rats, they look really, really good. When they're dragging the wet bodies and stacking them up before setting them on fire, they look really convincing.
Yeah.
Shit that makes no sense, part 4. Somehow mice lose the ability to swim when they get the size of a VW Beetle.
Even if it did, they can swim. You know that? Rats can swim. They'll swim right around the end of it.
No, I don't think so. I think if they go in the water, they'll sink straight to the bottom.
Horses swim just fine. Cows swim just fine. But apparently mice, it's because they got those little hands. They can't.
You were right, they can't swim.
So they drowned all the rats, and it's very obvious whoever made this film hated rats because, like, when you watch the film, the scenes of the rats getting shot are very graphic, and they're like, no, we were just stunning them. We were using a paintball gun, and we were shooting them. And it's like, you were shooting them in the fucking face with a paintball gun. And if it's a regular-sized paintball gun, as a person that's been shot by a paintball gun, that shit hurts. I can't imagine being a rat this big and blasted in the face with one of those. You're not just shaking that shit off. But according to the movie makers, no, they were just stunned. They were fine. And then when you see the rats at the end, when the dam breaks, it's very obvious that somebody has tied weights to the mice's tail to keep them, because they're like struggling to get up to the surface. So we get to watch real rats drown in real time. But, you know, we got this movie of it.
Yeah, that's what they too. Watching us like, man, are they actually killing these rats or what are they doing? Because, yeah, this is really graphical, and they're shooting them. It looks like they're actually being shot.
And it's not just once or twice.
No, it's all through the movie.
It looks like a shotgun blast to a giant rat's face. It's brutal looking.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a mixed bag of effects. Some of them are great. Some of them are like, oh, that's terrible. And some of them are like, what the fuck? Really?
Yeah.
So, now, just to get to the notes, this is Bert I. Gordon, who is B-movie royalty. He was the king of drive-in schlock forever. He did King Dinosaur, The Amazing Colossal Man, Earth vs. the Spider, Village of the Giant, Empire of the Ants. He had a thing for giant people and giant insects. He's still, the last film that he did was in 2014 called Secrets of a Psychopath. So, you know, after drive-ins died, Blockbuster arrived, and then the Red Box. This movie had a $900,000 budget, which for the number of effect shots in it is kind of staggering. Now, its box office was $1 million, which you're going to say that's not a big success. Ironically, it was the most successful release of the year for this movie studio, so much so that they immediately greenlit a sequel to this. The most charming thing about this film, this was a very early poster. The movie poster for this was done by Drew Struzan. Do you know who Drew Struzan is? Drew Struzan is the guy who did the movie poster for E.T., Blade Runner, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, and all the Star Wars special editions. He is movie art royalty. This is a guy that legitimately probably has more posters hanging on more bathrooms and more bedrooms and more living rooms than any living person alive. If it was a big hit in the 80s and it had artwork, Drew Struzan probably did it. If I'm not mistaken, I think he also did the Alice Cooper album cover where it's like him in a top hat and on a white background. I'm pretty positive that's him.
I'll throw it right here.
Michael Medved gave this the Golden Turkey for the worst rodent movie of all time.
Why is it called the Golden Turkey?
It's bad movies, yeah. Just they used to call bad movies turkeys. Now, here's the fascinating thing. Marjoe, who is the lead actor in this, he plays the football player. You're going to know him from Star Crash. Yes. But here's what's even weirder. He was a very early speaker. And at the ripe old age of 4, his parents had him ordained, and he wound up becoming a Pentecostal pastor. He would go on these big revivals, and he was like taken all over the country. He was like a huge money earner. And then when he hit his early teenage years, he did a 1972 documentary called Marjoe. And it won the Academy Award for Best Documentary, and it was all about how the whole revival thing was completely just a money maker. It had nothing to do with religion whatsoever. They had footage of them counting the money in it, and he was very blunt about, this business is not about spirituality. This is all about money. So as you can imagine, his career ended kind of shortly after that. But at least he did a massive expose. Then he decided that he wanted to do theater because he was already used to standing up in front of people. And voila, we get star crash in Food of the Gods. He did a ton of movies. You'll recognize this guy from a bunch of them, but I'm not going to tell you that everything is good. But funny enough, he also did a music album. He was a singer, and he he did an album after the movie came out and crashed his career. And the name of the album was called Bad But Not Evil. And he had 2 songs on it by Bob Dylan, and there was one song that was a hit on it, and it was called Ho Bus.
Even wear a hole in my shoe, even wear a hole. Driving a hole bus down to Louisiana, driving a hole bus down.
Now, if that's not a fascinating life, I don't know what is.
That definitely is fascinating. Yeah, going from a kid preacher to a,
musician and then to an actor.
Yeah, that's something. But when it comes to this movie, this is absolutely not a recommend. But this is something you should watch with your buddies, with alcohol, with weed. Have a good time. That's the perfect environment for this movie.
Yes.
Or if you're a glutton for shit trash cinema.
This is not a great creature feature, but
no,
we've watched some great ones. We watched some bad ones, but no, you're absolutely right. This movie knew exactly what it was. It was drive-in movie fodder.
Yes.
In between makeout sessions, hey, look, giant rats, and then you go back to making out.
Yep.
But now, in the modern age, because the drive-ins are all closed, yes, get your buddies, get some beer, sit down, watch this movie, laugh your ass off. In that regard, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to run out and buy it, but if we did a movie night and someone was like, oh, Food of the Gods, I'd be like, throw that trash in. This is not a trashterpiece, though.
No, it is not.
But it is a shit ton of fun with a crowd of people. So that's all I got.
That's all I got, too.
We will catch you next time.